Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hi Lee. Welcome back to Cone Racing League tier number 5. We're back once again for round number 6. I'm back, of course, after a little break last week where my deputy stood up to the full mark and did an excellent job alongside Antonio, it must be said. But he's back once again to support me here tonight. It's the man, the myth, the little Irish legend. It's IRT. I believe it is officially changed now. Leroy.
It's been officially changed for quite a while, Scott. I think you're just quite slow. Yes, welcome back, Scott. It's been... I didn't know what to do without you, you know? Just, that connection we built up in Season 7, it was lost for a week, and I was lost myself. But yeah, we're here. Track personally, it's very short, very flowing track, very difficult track to get right. It's so satisfying when you do get it right. And actually has produced quite a few good races. Now, you remember 2011 better than I would, but all I know, I rewatched bits of that race and it seemed quite fun to watch.
I'm just trying to think. You'd be in nappies back then, yeah. You'd just be skirting about. I was the grand old age of 14 back then. I do remember it was a long Sunday, put it that way. A lot of action. We've seen some great races there, like you say. We've seen some great races here in Cone. Remember, of course, we had to rerun a Tier 4 race a couple of seasons ago, just to the safety car being absolutely... I don't even know what happened. It came out and it picked up P2 and let P1 go around for another lap and lap everybody.
God.
So it's had its fair bit of drama, but we're here tonight, Lee, on this, this Canadian circuit, the Circuit de Jules Villeneuve, famed after, the famous Canadian champion. Of course, it's a 2.7 mile long circuit, 4.3 kilometres for those in Europe, 13 corners, 7 to the right, 6 to the left, a number of chicanes, a number of tricky traction zones as well, and crucially, which it might be a big thing for this qualifying session here, Lee, track limits are gonna be deadly here tonight.
Yeah, definitely will be indeed. Obviously, we've seen over many seasons in Canada in general how difficult track can be on track limits. It's very easy to violate a lap. It's so easy because you want to push the limit. This track just entices you to want to push the limit just the way it is. You can really push the limit on the track, and it's very easy to go over the limit. Very easy to go over the limit indeed. Yeah, we'll definitely see a few invalidations, probably quite a few penalties as well. But hopefully it doesn't affect too much drivers. As Tomo tipped up, our current championship leader is currently on a lap, coming in to the end of the middle sector under the bridge, brake just at the back of your board, hit the curb. Now you'll see, very easy to lose the power on traction here. There's a car ahead of him that is a Red Bull. He got very close to the background there, it stays out of the way. Into the hairpin. Now, coming out of the hairpin. Now, about 10 minutes ago, you revealed to me that little kink there was a corner. I didn't know that until you revealed that, so...
Yeah, this little bend there, that is technically turn number 11, halfway down the casino straight. Of course, there's not really going to be, much in the way of time gained or time lost. You can't really lose any time there on that bend. It is... it's a corner by name and by nature, but or by name, sorry, not by nature. Tomo tipped up then a 12.5 for his first flying lap. Mighty Atom, the reserve, in tonight with a 12.979. Riordan is the other reserve, and as Mark Wilson goes provisional P1 with an 11.752. I'm expecting full time here tonight, Lee, to be down in the sort of low end of the 11s here. We could see a brilliant lap and maybe somebody dip down into the 10s, but we'll wait and see how they get on. One man that could be within a shout with some great praise so far this season is Riordan. He's coming up to the hairpin as Nacho puts in 11.262. We're already getting down towards that time. Gotti Fallon, Mark's teammate, going P2 with 11.667. The time's already flooding in here, but we're going to ride on board then with Riordan. Goes around that little kink of 11 into the hairpin. 12 and 13 got to be crucial here, not to invalidate on entry or exit, and not to hit the wall of champions, but out of those three, he did at least one of them, Lee, and it is going to be no time for Riordan. Let's get on board with Will Simple. I want to give this man a little bit of love as he has invalidated about to restart a lap. The only full-time driver, I should say, not to score a point yet this season. He's been having a little bit of bother with the old traction. It could be something that plagues him tonight, of course, so Lee. Turn 2, where we see him going through one of the many tricky traction zones. There's a lot of curbs that you sort of have to ride and sort of have to just throw yourself into, and of course that hairpin can be it can be a little bit tricky on the throttle.
Yeah, definitely. And that's this track is so short, not many corners, but it mixes so much elements of tracks together. You get Nacho going Paul. I'm not sure if you watched the race last year, but Nacho got Paul on the second run. It was still by 3 tenths. So he's a man. Will Simple was validated, unfortunately, him there going through turn 9, I believe it is. Yeah, but Nacho spoke to him last week. He's a man on the mission. He was very good in round 1, took second, and then missed the next 3 rounds due to holiday. But he's back, and he's setting the mark. He dominated in China, and now he's looking to do it again. And currently 4 tenths clear on the banker laps, which is crazy. Moravia come to the line P6 on 12.3, and who's next on the Ben's on the lap. Yes, Ben is on the lap. Coming down the back straight into the chicane here. As you said, a very tricky place to not invalidate. Coming through now. He brakes very, very early there. What it looked like. Maybe he just wants to get a valid lap in. Up to the line for Ben. It's still good enough P6, but he broke very early in the final chicane. So, as I said, probably just wants to get a lap in, not invalidate, and we'll definitely push him more in his next laps.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's a very, very good point there, Lee. Of course, sometimes you've got to just get a time down, especially on a track like this. You talked about how it's shorts us up very, a mix of aspects. This is the answer to what if a street circuit and a historic F1 circuit had a baby. This is what you would get. It is technically a street circuit. Of course, these are the day-to-day during the rest of the year. They're just civilian roads, you would almost say. Yeah, they're a bit more purpose-built. It's just, in the middle of a lake in Canada. Let's not beat around the bush here, but it is a brilliant little circuit. It combines those elements of the street circuit with being a more of a specifically designed one as well in aspects. So throws up some great racing and throws up some great incidents as well. Ben there getting that lap time in, he can now throw the bookshelf at it, try and get his best lap he can, and he knows that there could be people that don't get a clean lap in, there could be people that try and get a fast lap in, maybe lose it around one of the many traction zones and end up in the wall. Will Simple, I'm back on board with him again because I think he's one of the few drivers on a competitive lap.
P2?
P2, 11.466. Well, I'm not one to jinx him, but it's looking good for his first point scores of the season as we get towards this halfway point. Lee, Mark Wilson, I believe, is starting his second run. A lot of cars, as you can see, on outlaps, but a lot of them still in the pits. 10 seconds, 10 minutes still to go in this session as Mark Wilson throws down a purple sector 1. 2 tenths up in his base time. He's going to need to find a little bit more, but like we say, there's so many tricky zones, so many tricky turns that you can gain time left, right and centre if you have a bad lap and kind of perfect it with the next one. He does very well not to invalidate there. Actually thought he might have on the exit to turn 8 there. Purple middle sector, 4.5 tenths up here. He's on a run for the pole here, Lee. It's all about this run now. Getting a good exit from the hairpin, and then you've got the run down to the final chicane. And like we've seen with Ben, that can really make or break your time. Is he going to go full send here, Lee, or is he going to go a little bit more cautious? We'll wait and see. Turns in for the apex, doesn't invalidate, doesn't hit the wall, and doesn't run wide and exit onto that curb. It is going to be up to the line. Mark Wilson looks to set provisional pole. A 10.777. That is that's up there with it's up there with tier 4 pole time.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's only his second lap as well. Gaultier on the lap, he is 4 tenths up as well. He'd be on a 11.2 at the moment. I mean, we said about Nacho dominating. Mark Wilson on 5 tenths going. No people still do that, but wow. Only on the second lap as well. I believe Nacho made a mistake on his lap. I'm not sure he's going to go again or not if he might pay, but Gaultier in the other Ferrari coming into the chicane. We saw Mark Wilson did it nearly perfect there. Could have carried maybe a bit more speed. Apart from that, it was inch perfect. Gaultier doing very well as well. Up to the line for the Frenchman. It's an 11 flat. It's a Ferrari 1-2. Obviously, obviously, it isn't Gaultier's home Grand Prix, but it's his home away from home. Obviously Canada with the French connection, so it's home away from home. And currently in P2, Ferrari 1-2. Mark Wilson, that is one of the early laps of the season, a 10.7. What a lap!
It's a funny little, sorry, bit of golf for me tonight. A funny little, I'm trying to think of the word. A reference, I suppose, you dropped in there, the French connection. You'll probably be too young to even know what that is.
Well, what do you mean?
It's a 1971, the French Connection 1971 film about New York cops. You've just dropped a little reference for it. An absolute banger of a film. Anyway, back to the action on track here, Lee. That was my weekly waffle.
Did we do that?
And the breakfast waffle not being served here today, of course. It is croissant. Like you said, a little French connection in here. MKP showing his French connection to the track with a 1:11.954. Of course, the Britain, nothing to do with France. That was just pure waffle. AFL trying to get his first lap in of the session. Looks to have had an alright sector one, judging by what that time was in the top right. I believe a sort of decent low 110 is, you're looking for the high 19s for the first sector. Judging by what I've been doing anyway, Lee. You know, I managed to get a couple of laps in before this just to see what kind of pace I could do and see what maybe some of these guys could try and aim for. But yeah, it's probably not the most analytic and best data. AFL though, coming through the final chicane, just about keeps it out of the wall of champions. Of course, he was in a championship fight in seasons gone by, and it's P14 at the moment for him. Might you get, you say, on a lap?
No, he just finished up. He went P3. As I believe, who's next on the lap? I'm actually going to see. I believe it actually is a McLaren. No, it's not. It's Will Simple, I believe, in the way. No, he's invalidated turn 1. Who's next on the lap? I think it's Ben. It is Ben. Yes, it is Ben. Coming into as Tom Tiptop has retired. He's crashed out of the final corner. He's crashing the World Champions. Our current championship leader. Is that a sign, Scott? I wonder. World Champions. Maybe a champion in the making, who knows? But yeah, he's crashed. Could have went in a bit deep. Could have. I don't know, because it looks quite far down. So maybe he lost the rear end, or maybe his cards rolled down. I'm not too sure. Ben on a lap though, in the Haas. He's currently 4/10 up, but we saw on top there's a lot of time to gain in that final chicane. A good few tenths if he nails it. I reckon most drivers are trying to do 4 laps, because most drivers are going up pretty early. His Chimp has crashed. Is he retired or crashed?
I think he's retired in the pits. Whether he's trying to just save a set of softs for the race. Of course, safety cars could be slightly likely as Ben doesn't validate there. We can see one of the tyre carcasses off Tomo Tip Top. That's a crash out there where Tomo has done. Victor Mean is coming into the pits, so we won't see the finish of his lap. Is it MKP? He has invalidated. Nacho then, I believe, is on a flyer lap. Looks to be, at the moment, we'll get a good indication here, a 10.5 up, 1.7 tenths up on his best lap. It would see him just jump up into P3, but a good final sector here, get a good exit from that hairpin, a good run down the straight, and through that chicane nice and neatly, but carrying enough speed just to run you to the line. Could see him jump up and maybe contend with Gautier Fallon. Who knows, he could have an absolute blinder into the hairpin, or he could come into the pits, deciding that this lap time isn't going to be good enough, and that it's time to come in, maybe get a fresh set of softs on and go for one last run. It is looking a little bit grey overhead, Lee, so whether there's a little bit of rain on the way, we shall wait and see. Will Simple on a lap. Looks to be 300ths off his best time at the moment, but again, time can still be gained in this final sector. He might end up coming into the pits here because, judging by the on-screen display, he has very little to no fuel in that Williams. The red fuel light there you can see beside the 8th gear indicator, and it is a correct call from me for a change. He does come into the pits.
Miracle.
Who is on a lap then? Is that a Red Bull? Well, Curly looks to be on a lap. He's just on a purple sector 1. I find that hard to believe, a 20.7. I think the game is
waffle.
It's doing what it does best and just not really give you any indicator with the sector times and the sector colours anyway of what is actually going on. Wait and see though with Curly Lee up to the hairpin, a 43.537, purple sector 2 again according to that.
It's a great person. Well, anyway.
It's definitely a personal best anyway. We'll see if it is a session best though. Down to the final hairpin, final chicane. You can tell I've had a week off, a little bit out of practice.
Sounds like normal for you to be fair.
Oh, poor.
Anyhow, Curly up to the line. Give me a 13-1 for him, goes P60. And next up is Riordan, I think, who has not set a lap yet. Coming through the chicane, flings the 8, does well. Out of the final corner. Up to the line for the AlphaTauri. Goes P5, 1:11.3. I mean, that's crazy close between that top three. All separated by less than a tenth. That is, as Mays on a lap. Obviously dropped down from tier 4. Did well last week, unfortunately got in a bit of an incident, but drove very well, was very quick. The Red Bull, up to the end of the sector, he is 5 tenths up. I'll put him on 11.3, which put him where reordering is. We'll see what he can gain. It would have been a nice exit. The sun's starting to come out, so I think that threat of rain is going away. Obviously, we saw rain in tier 4 quality towards the end of it, but let's see what Mays can do here in the Red Bull. Can he fly through the final chicane here? Let's see. Oh, it's not great. It's into the wall, and he has crashed and is out qualifying here. It was looking good for Mays, but unfortunately he's out, and we'll start P9 at the maximum. Next up on the lap. Who's next on the lap? It's one of the guys towards the rear here at the moment. I'm not too sure. No one really.
MKP just starting a lap. There looks to be a Haas behind him. That's Ben starting a lap also. I believe Riordan into the pits. Mercedes up next. Who is that? Is that Mikey Al? Yes, it is. He is invalidated, but he is also just about to start a lap. I think most of the people are actually here. Most of our drivers here are just either starting a lap or on out laps. So I'm gonna jump. I believe it will be MKP will be the first to come up the line for competitive lap time. Just want to get it out there. X-Maze was looking to a maze, and there's a pun about hitting the wall in there somewhere, folks. I'll come up with it at some point. You know, I just had to get a cheeky little dad joke in, I suppose you could call it.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see though. MKP is flying on this lap, 4.5 tenths up at the end of the second sector, enough to see him get in that mix for the top 6. Get up there with the sister Williams of Will Simple, currently in P6. 5 or half a second separating those two. Half a second is the advantage MKP has this on this lap as he runs down towards this final chicane now. Turns 12 and 13, all about the send in, all about the exit, and he does invalidate ever so slightly. And he's not got enough time to get back and do a cool down lap. He's not going to have much in the way of ERS here, and I think he's actually invalidated this and next lap, so it will be all over for MKP. BX37 Pro Ben, he's won one race this season. P11 for him at the best. Mighty Atom is also invalidated. I believe it is Nacho's just starting a lap, so it's one of the two Aston Martins here next, Lee. It's going to be Topher. You already know who it is. Up to the line. He goes for his, I believe, second run, a 14.8 to improve on. Does improve with a 14.1 AFL. Just behind, jumps Tomo tip top to go P14. Victor Mean up to the line now, does improve to go P10. There's a Haas very close to that car just coming in now.
Up to the line, it's been a great ball in the sector for the Frenchman. Goes P2, and he got a little bit of slipstream, but he also was affected. Gautier has backed off, he's not going for his lap. Mark Wilson's invalidated. So I believe it's up to Nacho to see if he can snatch pole position, unless someone towards the rear end of the field does snatch it. Nacho comes to the end of the side. He is currently 3.5, just over 3.5 tenths up, which currently put him in P2 here. He's looking to gain even more time as he comes to the final sector. There's a Haas and a Red Bull, is it, or Williams ahead, I'm not too sure. Which will cross the line now.
And Ben both on invalidated lap times early. Nacho, the only one looking to be on a flyer. Oh, Ben was on a flyer up into P6. Nacho looks to be the only one still on the time.
Oh, it's the wall. Up to the line for the Dutchman. Can he grab pole? It's P4. He stays improved by 2 tenths. And another dramatic quality is over, I believe. No one else on the lap yet. Mark Wilson with his stunner. That's the second time in a row in 2 weeks where we've seen the second lap of the session get pole and not the last lap. Interestingly enough, might have getting Gautier, the two Frenchmen, P2 and P3. But Mark Wilson, what a lap from him. Pole by over 2 tenths.
2 tenths, 200s, and not quite 2000s, but yeah.
Aww,
just under a quarter of a second, or a fifth of a second, I suppose. You could look at it, the gap from pole to P2. Then look at that next three, Lee. All of them separated by half a tenth. Just under, well, 49,000 separate P2 and P4.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
100 separates P5 and P6, and then the gap sort of spread out a little bit, but then again 4,000s between Pancake and X Maze, the battle for P9, and P10. But there is our qualifying results. Mark Wilson takes pole position with a 10.777, a very solid lap time. Mighty Begay, not to be outdone, also creeping into the 110s. I had this down as being an 11.0 and 11.1 maybe being pole time, but these boys absolutely blew it out of the park. Gotti, Fallon and Nacho rounded off 3 and 4 ahead of Riordan, Ben and Will Simple. Funny Osh, Chimp, Pancake, X-Maze, Victor Mean, MKP round off your top 12. Hedgehog 11, AFL, Curly, Tom Tip Top, Mighty Atom, Topher, Ghost Angel 1 and Murphy with the qualifying ban rounds off the grid. Curly, interesting, only using one set of soft tyres. A number of cars using 3, but Lee, crucially, Might Begay only using 2. Funnios Chimp, CRL Pancake, X-Maze, Hedgehog and AFL all only using 2 as well. So maybe ones to watch out for with a fresh set of softs if there is a late safety car or a little bit of weather drama. We'll wait and see. But it is obviously a short track here, Lee. You know what I mean? Yep. Quite a few laps here tonight, and plenty of strategy calls. It is going to be a dry start to the race, but strategy-wise, if you're sitting there on the grid, what's your ideal choice? What would be your go-to for tonight?
I honestly haven't done Canada's games a lot. I think with the difference in tires, you could do a soft, medium, soft, medium, medium, soft. You know, the Sony. I think the hard tyres are an all-go. I think in one stop overall solid. The pit lane not being too long, the track being quite short. You don't gain too much from it. To be honest with you, but yeah, I reckon we'll definitely see a mixed strategy today, which is something that this game has brought back as a mixed strategy. I'm happy to see it. But yeah, it should be a mixed strategy, and hopefully after all the lap 1 chaos simmers, then we'll get to grips of what people are starting on. Because you know, Tier 5 loves a bit of lap 1 chaos around here.
Oh, absolutely. Every week we always get plenty of drama in the opening first few laps, particularly lap 1. And I can't really agree any more than what you've said. This circuit, of course, it was one of the few last game where the 2-stop was maybe a viable option. I believe it was 2021. It was brilliant for the 2-stop. The 2-stop and the 1-stop were kind of near enough identical in times, where it really gave a nice mix of flakes of strategy. Hopefully we see something similar here tonight. Maybe some starting in the hards, some starting the mediums, and even some starting for the softs. And of course the medium runners, it might, you know, I don't want to divulge maybe information. There's somebody sitting in the grid thinking, no, I'll just go with that and have an influence on the race. But I think the medium tyre would be the best to start on here, Lee, because you have that flexibility to go for the 1-stop if there's maybe no safety cars, or if you're feeling good on the grip and the tyre, or if something goes awry, or you maybe think, these tyres aren't lasting as good as I would hope, you can switch to the 2-stop. But we'll find out very shortly, because it is going to be 5 red lights here in Canada. Ferrari of Mark Wilson on pole, gets it away ahead of Mighty Begay. We've got the rundown to turn 1. Mighty Begay looking to attack Mark Wilson, but he's going to have to defend from Gotti Fallon, who goes down the inside. That's going to turn to the outside, and Nacho now trying to get a jump on the Frenchman as they're almost free wide coming up a turn 2 here, Lee. Mighty Begay and Nacho battling out. Mighty Begay having a stinker of a start down from P2 all the way to P4, but I think for the most part, I was just about to see Riordan almost squeezed into the wall. We've got away pretty cleanly here in Canada.
Yeah, from what I've seen, there's actually no damage to any cars at all, which, you know, we'll have to wait and see if that continues. But yeah, Nacho there, no, sorry, it wasn't Nacho, I was wanting to get almost squeezed me over into the wall, but the Ferrari's gone onto a flyer. Mark Wilson's 1 second clear already, and Gautier's 1.5 clear on Nacho. Those on the medium tyres making those tyres work quickly as we see Riordan going for, there's a yellow flag there in the back. I think Pancake's gone off. Oh, Baby gets round at the hairpin. Here Riordan make contact as Ghost Angel 1 is out, and there's a virtual safety car here. I jinxed it. Ghost Angel 1, okay, he must have been hit. Because you know where he's staying on a straight line.
It's a little bit late to be the exit of the third or the second tier chicane, whatever way you want to view it as. So maybe a little bit of contact coming in there. Of course, virtual safety car out. The pace is now nullified. There's a delta you need to comply with. Speed over that delta, Lee, you get a drive-through penalty. Victor Mean might be swapping a bit through. He had a horrendous start for the Frenchman in the Haas. And crucially on the strategy front here, Lee, mediums and hards all round. Nobody opting to go for the red stripe soft. Maybe saving that for later. Double pit stop though at the end of lap 1 for the Mercedes as Victor Mean picks up a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I wonder if that is in relation to maybe overtaking Mighty Baguette, sorry, during that virtual safety car. But we are back green flag racing. Will Simple looks to be very close for a brief second there to the rear of Bay X37 Pro as they get a run down to this 7 and 8, I believe it is, or 8 and 9. Yeah, 8 and 9 it is, sorry. The hairpin, of course, turn 10, and Will maybe going to look to have a move round about the outside, going into the hairpin. He goes for a little bit of a late lunge around that outside, but he's going to get squeezed off ever so slightly, forced to take that wider exit and slot back in behind the Haas of Ben. Funnyos Chimp lurking in the background, just waiting for an opportunity to arise itself, and Will slipping into that slipstream as they run down to 12 and 13, the final chicane, sorry, of course, before the Wall of Champions. Ben, they'll get a very good exit from that chicane, and now Chimp looking to go on the offensive, puts in the fastest lap as well. Of course, it's only lap 2, and we did have a VSC for the majority of the first lap and second lap, so I'm sure we'll see that fastest lap. Tombo Tip Top trying to go around about the outside of Hedge into turn 2. Championship leader trying to fight his way through the field. Currently in 12 on for 1 point in the Hedge. Just cedes position there, not risking going side by side through that first chicane there, Lee. But overall, we've had a few little touches and a few little bumps. A decent start from the grid and no safety car.
Yeah, only the virtual. Mark Olsen has gone. He's tired of mediums. And he has gone the 2 Ferraris. I mean, if it's like in real life, they'll get away and bottle on strategies. Will Simple has gone for an absolute send on Ben. He's trying to go into the wall. He just avoids the wall, but that's a very push over thing. That could be one. We'll have to see if that's investigated or not. On the limit from Will Simple, and Chimp might get him as well here, coming down into the chicane. Chimp's going to get 2 positions in the space of 1 corner and a bit of a straight. Is he going to hold it around the outside though? Will's trying to hold it on the inside. Will holds it for now, and will keep the position, and will Ben try and go for it. He doesn't have DRS, remember, the two detection zones being at the same point for those 2 DRS zones. But yeah, Will argy-bargy past the Haas, but he gets through and open the P5, Chimp open the P6, Ben then 7th, as we have Maze on the back of him, in what is a 4-car train. But as I was saying, Mark Wilson has gone nearly 3 seconds clear of his teammates, so he's had an excellent start and heavy luck to continue. But obviously, on the mediums, so like Nacho, if he just keeps in that 5-second range, obviously, we'll have to see if people are doing a 1-stop or a 2-stop. Obviously, it's going to really start from Mark Wilson, but strategy will vary around here, so nothing is decided just yet by any means of imagination.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it develops out, but it's been an uncharacteristic start for the top 4 as well. Top 5 as AFL picks up the first of what I'm sure could be many 3-second time penalties tonight. Of course, 3 corner cuts, you get a penalty, and that penalty is of course 3 seconds, and if you get enough of them, well, it's unlikely, but you could face the DSQ from the race by the in-game stewards. But the top 5, like I was saying, they're very, very spread out from each other. 2.7, 2.5, 1.7 and 3.1, the gaps between those top 5. Might be good coming to fruition, what I just said there. But then we've got a nice little train here. Will Simple from Funnyos Chimp, from Ben, from X-Maze, just lurking in there. And Mighty Baguette, Victor, I mean, they aren't too far off behind. Further on back, there is of course a little train from Murphy. He's up from P20 to P12, of course, with the qualifying ban.
But you mean
flags.
Oh, it's not. It's more bad. I think you just spawned the zone. But I mean, it's having a torrid time this season. Spawned last week in China. He spawned again. I believe it's on his own. Wing damage. You're gonna have to pay it. Oh, poor Victor. I mean, obviously going from last season championship fight into this season, it's been a dramatic fall down. He has the pace. He's shown he has the pace. Just he can't seem to get it together on race day. As Mark Wilson at 4. Gautier might have damage or so. I don't know. Because Gautier's not a solo driver. Unless Mark Wilson just rapid, right? But Nash's
rapid because he's not just pulling away from Gautier, he's pulling away from everybody at this stage of the Grand Prix. I think he's really showing some great pace on these fresh mediums. Of course, maybe some drivers as well just struggling with the heavier fuel load. One man that isn't struggling right now is Corlese. He looks to go past Hedgehog 11, getting the inside line into the hairpin, gets ahead of the Red Bull of Hedge, and settles in behind. In fact, no, he's not going to settle in behind. He's going to settle for another overtake on AFL with the assist of that DRS and that double DRS detection. Like you said, 3 zones here, Lee, 2 detection points. That's going to give him a nice pull down into turn 1. AFL now having to look behind the defend from Hedge. Of course, Hedge on a harder compound tyre from these two. His battle maybe isn't with them right at this stage, but later on the Grand Prix they could come together. Yellow flags further up ahead, and that is a virtual safety car once again, as Will Simple has had a Will Spinell. That was horrendous.
Jeez, that was awful, Scott. You need to rethink that. That one, oh my god.
No front wing on the front of an early pit stop as Hedgehog almost connects the rear of AFL, and Will Simple does connect with the rear of Hedge there. A little bit argy-bargy, I should say. AFL getting a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. So whether, just as that came out, there was a bit of an overtake, mid-happening overtake. That's the second one tonight though, Lee. That could be another thing we didn't really anticipate creeping in, that virtual safety cars could cause the bother, and the safety cars just with people getting them out as they go for overtakes. Lap 6 so out of 35, Lee. Bert Melander still to make an appearance. The virtual one out twice. It's not been something we've seen used much. Hedgehog 11 getting a 5-second penalty now for ignoring yellow flags. Well, this could be a busy one for the stewards. It also did I read that night that DRS was enabled, as Mark Wilson gets a 3-second time penalty.
Oh, the safety car and Hedgehog fire. Oh my god.
And he has retired in pits out of frustration. Yeah, I mean, I can understand in a way. In fact, he's left his party that he's in as well, because you can see him. I hope that's not him bad-mouthing anybody in the bottom left. Good thing we can't hear it, just in case it is me. But yeah, there could have been potential for it to be removed by the stewards. But however, his race is done. He is over. We're down to 18 racers here tonight. Battles ongoing then, Lee. Ben and Chimp. Ben, of course, with 1 win this season. Chimp yet to have his, but Chimp winning in the championship battle, of course. He is currently in P3, only 11 points I believe it is off the top of my head, behind our championship leader. And with Tomo down in P9, he could be a contender to take that championship lead. Gotti Fallon, though, let's not forget, is right up there as well, amongst a whole host. I believe there's 6 drivers that could potentially walk away tonight as championship leader, Lee. It's been a great season so far. We're only just at the halfway mark as well, so I'm sure we've got plenty more racing and action still to come, not just tonight of course, but for the next 6 or so weeks here on a Monday night at Cone.
Yeah, I do agree. Obviously we've seen so many different, we've seen 5 out of 5 race winners, we've seen so many other guys on the podium, you know, so many guys at different paces. Like, there's very few people here that I wouldn't back to get a win, or I'd say is ruled out a chance for a win. Like I reckon what I've noticed about Tier 5 is people different track to track. You know, some people are better, let's say, a track like Hungary or hard down for some people are better at track like Monza or whatever. I've noticed about Tier 5 is that everyone's very track dependent, which is great for us because it means that like, we get different runs every week. We've seen this so far. It's Tom Tip Top and might be get a battling going out at a hairpin. I'm not sure if he got past him if he was defending from the Haas, but going into now the hairpin. Bolt on low ERS, Tom Tip goes deep and I might be able to switch back. Who will have the ERS? I'm not too sure. I believe it might be he does have the ERS. Bolton flashing the ERS already on lap 9, which is not a good sign at all. But let's see, what can the Frenchman do? As Victor Mean is out of the race, he's crashed. And that's the first safety car of the evening. Victor Mean, his torrid look continues. He's now out of the race. We've had 3 DNFs already, but that's not. I think, I don't know, because if like Mark wasn't want to pit for Harris and go to the end, he could pit, but he did at the end. I think that's bad for him. I think that favours the hard runners more because the gap ahead was big. And I think Mark was teaching and found that he'll be annoyed, but I'm very curious to see what the medium runners do. I'm very curious to see what the hard runners do. Do they commit to a 2-stop as well? Because realistically, the medium runners go medium soft, hard runners go medium. You know, like it's very the safety cars open up strategy quite a bit. I think here.
Yeah, there is that sort of gamble that you could say for the medium runners, of course. Do they go hards and try and stretch them out to the end, or maybe relying on another safety car and even go softs or mediums later on in this race? Do they just stick it out and go the hards a little bit later on, or Or do they, of course, roll the dice and go for the two-stop, the medium soft from here on out? It is a bold strategy call. We've had a few in the pits. It's fresh mediums for Mays. I believe he started on the mediums. I'm not quite sure. Curly on that as well. AFL on the fresh mediums. Mark Wilson is into the pits, so let's see what tyres the Tifosi are putting on their lead car, of course. Gotti Fallon following him in, so I think they're going to have enough gap not to double stack. Mark Wilson is putting on white striped hards on. That was nearly a horrendous sentence from me there. We're not going to delve any further into that. But the hard runners of Nacho and Riordan staying out. Funny O's Chimp staying out. BX37 Pro staying out. So it looks to be as if the majority of our hard runners staying out, our medium runners coming in for fresh tyres. Tom Tip Top going for another fresh set of mediums. He's committing to that two-stop at the moment. I believe X-Maze did similar, and I believe Curly as well. AFL answers in a postcard, not too sure with that, sorry, but that's really putting the cat amongst the pigeons, shall we say, Lee. A mix of longer running hard runners now at the front. Mark Wilson and Gotti Fallon stretching those hards, going to try and go to the end here, of course. That could pay dividends, especially if there's another safety car, but like we say, the pit lane is so short here. The tyre advantage is so good. The two-stop could be the optimal strategy. This is really where sometimes it pays to be brave, Lee.
Yeah, I agree. We have seen like Mays put and Tom put on the medium tyres, so yeah, I am quite surprised that the two Ferraris are going to the hards, because I think they can go to the end, but it would be a long stint. Obviously, that's assuming no safety cars whatsoever. We are. If you want some math, we are currently 2/7 to the race. There's some math for you. This is what going back to school has done to me, Scott, if you haven't gathered, yeah.
How did you get to that number, Lee? That's, we don't normally do something like this under safety cars.
Because there's 5 7s in 35 and 2 5s of 10, so that's it.
There you go. Don't say, the man has retired in the pits, but he was famous for his education. We're bringing back from.
Oh no!
That was his words, not me. That was on him, not mine.
That's the worst one.
Well, we don't have any education here. We have expertise. I don't know.
I mean, if you change for that, it's around that sounds mad. But anyway.
Yeah, or Scotty's fun facts. Let's just go with that.
Yeah. No, that's simple, and it doesn't sound like something very inappropriate, That's
exactly. Fun fact as well. While we're here, this is the motorsport capital for groundhogs. You get groundhogs on the track near enough every year at this circuit. Lee, none appearing tonight. I don't think they've quite hard coded that into the game, but just a little fun fact. There is quite a lot of animals that like to live around about this circuit and make a little appearance, a little surprise guest appearance around the circuit, and some of them have came off a little bit worse for wear, a bit like Victor Mean tonight, in the wall and not quite in one piece, shall we say. There's your morbid fact for the day, folks. Hope your Monday's going well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, there's no groundhogs today, but have you ever had a hedgehog?
Oh my god, Jake, hold on. Jacob just came up with the lessons.
I don't get
lessons. Lessons.
Oh, Jacob. What we do there, yeah, mate? Thanks. Hope you're enjoying your bank holiday Monday, mate. Hope you're enjoying it. I don't like that.
Oh, I love
That's worse than you call me Little Leroy. It really is.
I never called you tonight, but thank you for reminding me. You, of course, are joining us once again on a Monday night. We're in round 6 of the Season 9 here in Tier 5. Of course, the inaugural season of Tier 5. I'm your usual commentator, back after last week's CRL Freefall, aka Scotty. And I am joined by my co-commentator, the one and only, it's Little Leroy.
If I could punch you right now, I would, but, I can't, so I'm not, obviously I can't. Yeah. I can't speak. I didn't expect you to do that, so.
Oh, I had to. We're fast approaching. We're just over
Frick you.
the 1/3 mark here, Lee. Do you know how I got that? Because 312s is 36 and we had 35 laps, so we're just slightly over it.
You scoff for your very
Oh no, we can't do the ASMR again. We'll get age restricted.
No, we can. Why not? Sure, who cares? I mean, Sidcar's in. So, there we go. I was waiting for that one. Nacho will lead us away in the McLaren. He got very used to in his last week. He's not been used to it this week. Mark Wilson has dominated so far. Obviously, in mixed strategies, which we'll see how that will unfold later on. Nacho, hopefully, obviously, we have seen since Qatar the new safety car speed limit introduced. And no one broke it last week, but hopefully it stays the same. As Nacho is above 45. Now, so good safety car restart from him. Once he's gone away from Jordan's there on a half slipstream, so it could have been a little bit better. I thought he would have gone a lot later, but he's gone earlier. And he's got a penalty for his troubles. Well, then that's awful. It goes to, oh my god, got to do a penalty as well. This is going to be a survive track Mrs. Face, honestly.
It genuinely could end up. I've just had some info passed to me. Well, not just, I suppose, but it'll be Tier 4 coming in with only one driver not getting a penalty. So, you know, that maybe sets the stage. One finishing driver anyway. Speaking of that, Riordan makes it the top three with 3 seconds. Mighty Adam is facing, or was facing the wrong way. He's got no front wing on that Mercedes as we round through. This makes effectively, technically in a way, our net race leader then could be X-Mays in P8. He's the only one to do a pit stop and not have a penalty at the top. Although saying that, Tom with Tip Top is just getting by him. Of course, he does have a penalty, but the championship leader right on the charge. Next up for him is Murphy, 12-lap old hards versus 3-lap old mediums. It should be an easy move for him as Mark Wilson goes for a move on Jordan just in front. Into the hairpin, I'm assuming that was.
It was a great move from Mark Wilson. Got a stop on the first tires. He got better traction, but great step move. Next up to him is Nacho. So on the first tires, he's been looking to get ahead and try and build his big drive. Nacho will slide out of the final corner. Can Mark Wilson get him? He's using the ERS. Nacho not using any. Mark Wilson to the outside line. What's he gonna do? Can he hold it? He goes onto the grass a little bit. Goes a bit deep. Just keeps it within track limits on the grass again. On the outside. He gets the move, does he? Nacho's still there, he has to leave him a little bit of room on the outside. Mark Wilson is still up in the first place. Obviously, we'll be trying to go to the end on those tyres and we'll have to build a gap. For now, further behind, who's called Tom Titt. This train from Chimp down to. Oh, Curly's out, that's going to be another safety car. And well, he went 11 laps out, I'm not coming in. Murphy don't have to pit now, surely. Actually, no, can they? A medium 20 laps? I think it is doable. I think it is doable.
Well, bear in mind, so it's going to be probably lap 17 because they'll complete 14. We'll do a lap 15 and probably 16 before it will be at least it'll be 17 before we get green flag racing. So you're looking at 18 laps of racing on the mediums. It's definitely doable. They are going to be screaming towards the end here. The cliff they are jumping off would put Mount Everest to shame, but they could potentially do it. I'd be surprised if we. I mean, who knows? We might see a couple more just stay out and just hope for that safety car, maybe in 10 laps time, maybe in 6 laps time, to see them go to the end on mediums, and that looks to be what is happening with the likes of Nacho, Riordan, Murphy and Go. Yeah, they're all just staying out. I'm surprised Pancake would be in the pits. MKP, interesting enough, 11 lap old mediums stays out. Pancake is into the pits. Of course, these two have already made a pit stop, given that we're 15 laps or 14 laps completed and they've done 12 laps on these tyres. Will Simple in for a set of softs. Bold call from the sister Williams driver, and Pancake onto a set of mediums again. It'll be touch and go whether they can make it to the end, but the rate we've seen safety cars and virtual safety cars here, Lee, we could, it could pay dividends. We will wait and see. Just a little bit back on the education banter. Jacobs came in with the belter that whenever you want a break from your lessons, it'll be recess. Do you get that one?
I want to punish him so bad right now. Jake, why? Why? I mean, Scott's bad enough. Like, come on. Come on. I don't get a break from you to do it. It's like... I mean, Jacob, fair enough. He knows my troubles, you know. He's a pirate like me, so he kind of gets the hint. But you just bully me, Scott. I'm sure. Where... Now, please tell me, anyone watching, you know, where else you get this banter? In a commentary booth? Never. Never anywhere else but Tier 5, alright?
There's been quite a lot of pirates about going recently. Obviously, you know, some of them are seeing pirates. Some of them have been leg pirates, of course. Josh having bothered with his leg.
And Tony.
And Tony. And Duel. There's there's a pirate epidemic around here. When we get the Caribbean Grand Prix going.
I mean, there was I saw a video that there was a proposal for that one time, but it never came through. I believe it was like in the 80s.
Yeah, there was. It was meant to be a street circuit. It was hyped up. It was on the calendar, everything, and then it just.
Yeah, and then something about money or something, wasn't it? Like, I don't remember
the be all end all in this world. To be fair, the money just kind of fell through, and also the I do believe there was one held, and it wasn't an official FIE event, and the drivers had absolutely nothing good to say about the whole event. It was a bit of a farce from start to finish. The track surface was, put it this way, I think they lost a couple of front wings just in the potholes, let alone the walls. So it was an interesting event, shall we say. So, but I don't know, the way F1's going, I'm sure we could see that soon.
Yeah, I agree. I love you too, Jacob, by the way. I've seen a comment. I love you too. And, Scott, now, I said again, I'll read that quickly. As Jacob said, Harry's a player with dodgy links. If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't know, you should join Colin Racing League and find out. There you go. That's a promo for it. Anyway, safety cars in. No really new strategy, apart from more simple pitting and pancake pitting. No real new strategies. Mark Grossman lead us away this time. Obviously, this will help him make it to the end, and it'll make it even harder for the guys behind who haven't yet to pit and catch up to him. He's gone. He's gotten a good restart, but obviously with the straight with the next straight, he won't get too far. He actually has cleared him 6/10. Good restart from Mark Wilson. He's gone. He's away, and there's quite a big gap between the top three. And I kind of spent Murphy with a penalty in with this. Chimp on the back of Riord, nothing doing there. Chimp looking in good position so far. Obviously yet to pit, but everyone has penalties. Will Simple making it past Tolfer for 13. He's looking to get and move on. He'll be hoping that the safety car quite soon. He's hoping he can make a position quickly. Tolfer's fighting him back actually. Down into turn 2, will better traction will get that one quite easily. But yeah, Mark's gone. 1 second already. He knows he has to build a gap. He'll be praying there's no more safety cars in this race. But yeah, and again, another clean restart. I believe Tom Tip-Top is on the back of Gautier for P6 Scott.
Yeah, Tom Tip-Top making a bit of a recovery from that poor qualifying. A bit of uncharacteristic as well. He has had a very solid season, it must be said. There's a reason he's leading this championship. But of course, his qualifying maybe leaves sometimes a little bit to be desired, but he makes up for it in the race, and he's shown it once again here. Of course, that time penalty lingering over his head, but when you're looking around that grid there on the left-hand side, there's almost just as many with them as there is without them, so I'm sure he won't be worrying about that too severely. Gautier for Lawn, also hunting down at the rear of the Haas of BX37 Pro, getting within just 2/10 of the car in front going into the final chicane around the wall of champions. Ben, though, seems to be getting, every time I've watched him, gets a very good exit out of that final chicane on the run down to turn 1. He is nailing that corner lap after lap after lap and manages to pull out a little bit of gap to Gautier left for Lawn. Mark Wilson, though, 2.5 seconds clear. Nacho, 1.2 seconds clear. Of course, he's in the same tyre, compound and life as the next 3 behind him. But Mark Wilson really making those fresh hards work for now to try and build that gap and try and give himself a little bit of a cushion. And then it's all about nursing him to the end. But this midfield battle, the train all the way down from P4 right down to P13 in Will Simple. Chimp to Will Simple. In quite the 2 bits of bread and quite a big sandwich here, Lee.
Yeah, they were indeed. They were. I can't speak yet. Sorry. Gautier going for it on Mark Wilson. MKP's had a little spin, I believe, towards the back, and there's a virtual safety car. Who got the move there? It was Gautier, wasn't Ben. I think Ben just kept it, but they were side by side. Nacho surely it was Nacho and I'll have to pit now. Surely they'll shave lots of off the time. I wonder if Mark Wilson will pit. I wonder, does he pit? He stays out. Nacho has to pit now, so does Riordan. They have to come in now. No, Nacho doesn't pit. Neither does Riordan. I'm shocked those guys aren't pitting. I really am.
They're waiting for the full safety car, or they're just trying to stretch those hard to maybe lap 22, lap 23, and get a really fresh run on the mediums. They're not wanting to leave anything to chance.
I am very surprised.
It's right in the prime time probably for switching across, obviously.
Yeah.
And you're not getting a free pit stop like you would under a safety car, but you're getting a reduced pit stop.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be. Who knows? We'll find out very soon. It could be a moment of genius staying out, or it could be a moment of absolute monumental bottleness. I believe is the correct technical term. Tomfoolery, hijinks, or gazumpness. I don't know. Trying to get in that world back.
No, we're not bringing it back. No, leave it where it does and let it die.
By the way, Jacob also saying that whenever Riordan with a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car, and Tomo tip-top and Gotti Fallon coming together on the exit of the hairpin. Tomo tip-top going for an almighty send on the restart there. Gets caught up with the Ferrari on the exit and the two of them drifting across into the wall. Do you see Nacho with a drive-through as well as with Riordan?
Matthew seconds, Nacho's drive through, so does Riordan. They're going to be miles back. Oh my word, Thomas tipped up and Gotti cried, and Mark Wilson will be just thanking anyone and everything, thanking whatever god there is in this world. He is clear by a mile. Tom does that session after that. I think that's kind of fair enough from him. He'll be miles clear. The next driver behind him will be Mays, and Mays' tires will make it to the end, but they'll be dead. Mark Wilson just needs to control, and I'm telling you, he's praying for no safety car. Also, he has got an overcross. I wonder if we all know we're staying out in case of rain, Scott. That could be something to watch out for.
That's very true. It is looking a little bit grey here in Canada. There is, of course, there is a chance of rain. Yeah, I think it just maybe a little disconnect, or maybe a momentary rage quit, shall we say. But things are really kicking off there, Lee. That is a very, very good point as well, that the rain could be on its way. But that's disaster for Riordan, for Nacho. 19 lap old hards. They haven't pit yet. They've got to do a drive-through, and then they've still got to do a pit stop. So really, they are both going to need a safety car. Riordan, I'm surprised, has stayed out as well, because if a safety car comes out, of course, you can't serve a drive-through under safety car conditions here, Lee. He could lose out big time. Will Simple is trying to make a move. In fact, he's going to get the move on those softs. Riordan, I would say Riordan dropping like a stone there, but of course he is. He's in the pits for his drive-through. See what happens when you look, Lee. You notice things, don't you?
I don't, anyhow. I'm not sure if he caught on stream. Will Simple made a double overtake in a hairpin. He made a few positions in like two corners. Maybe because he saw rain, he saw it was going to be rain, just like, you know what, might as well go soft into the rain. It's working out for him at the moment. But Mark wasn't 8 second clear, and wow. But I think the battle towards the end, unless the rain comes, or it might do, it will be the midfield, because this midfield is very, very tight. Some people have to pit, some people don't. Oh my! If he gets almost gone to the back of Murphy, let's go deep into the corner there, and we're overtaking my AFL and Gotti and Pancake as well. And there's 3 positions for the price. We're trying to overtake from 1 coming into the hairpin now, but this group of 5, Murphy down once.
Is it?
I'm actually up front.
Is it
well,
raining? I think I'm seeing spits here, Lee. I'm seeing that. Yeah, there is. There is.
Yes, it is. Here we go. As well,
the littlest of little droplets.
On Mays, Ben Pitts already. No way it's going wet already. Well, here we go. In fairness, what I've noticed about this game is that the rain does come down quite quickly than other games.
It does. So I think Baz at SCFC Fox said, we'll get yellow flags in sector 3.
And Will Simple! Oh my word, Will Simple's round. People are into the pit. It's madness on track. Will's round. There's another car spin as well. I'm not sure who it was. Will's lost his wing. There's madness with the rain coming down. The trash on the able at Cypriot has been. I think Ben's going to lap too early. I think he should have waited a lap or so. But we'll have to wait and see if it's the right call. Oh, what's happening at the moment, Scott? It's mayhem on track. The likes of Murphy are going to be squiggling here. On track, it's not even a word.
Squiggly.
Oh, they fell into the corner, oh my word. Yeah, squiggling, making that new word, but all tires are going to be screaming out for just some sort of rest by, he's not going to go to down the inside, he goes deep and he avoid the wall, he just about does, loses 2 positions. Oh, yeah, I don't know what's happening, Mark Wilson stays out.
With the DRS is going to get by Mark Wilson. Yeah, Mark Wilson's interested. Definitely, he's making the right call here.
Chips in.
He's got 11.6 seconds gap, of course. He can afford to hold it out a lap and just go cautious with it, shall we say.
Yeah.
Because you go early, you're going to overheat the tyres, you're going to really struggle there. As we've got a nice little sound effect of the... Simcoe's race goes from bad to worse. 5-second penalty speed in the pit. It's a tricky pit line, of course. We haven't even spoke about the pit entry here. But with no front wing... And as the rain starts to come down, we might see a few more of those, Lee. Mark Wilson's gap, 13.7 seconds. This is about to get very, very tasty.
Ben's not taking Chimp there. He chimped my mile on the exit, Chimp's, and then Ben's going to add him. It's still not time for Inter at the moment. Ben's lost time from it at my yam. And the rain isn't coming down too heavy at the moment. It's kind of waiting. I've heard you got some.
It was just... inches for Pancake from being in the wall there. He tried to go around the outside of Murphy into turn number 8, and Murphy, to be fair, the move, he wasn't side by side entitled to the space and probably was going for a closing gap, but the two of them having a little come together almost into the wall. Pancake
he almost murdered AFM.
He's royally struggling under traction here.
I've almost witnessed a murder there. Mark Wilson says out again. Mark Wilson's doing the right thing here. The rain's not coming down too quickly, so I think Ben's gained on my yam, so I'm not too sure what's happening. We'll have to wait. Keep an eye on it.
Pancake is pulling the trigger, though. He's into the pits. The sister Mercedes of Mighty Atom, the man you're just talking about, does come on, and it's going to be intermediate. I think this might be the lap. This lap that Pancake's just pit, or this lap that Mark Wilson is now on. I think we're getting towards that time, Lee, but it's going to be very, very touch and go here towards the end. Spider Rob did his rain dance and it has came through. Jacob said it's time for the intermediates.
Why? Just leave me alone! For God's sake, leave me alone from that. Yeah, Chimp's still losing time to Mark Wilson, so it isn't time yet. That's for sure. Still losing time on track to the leader. But Mark Wilson's leading by 15 seconds, but the battle's behind it. Here comes Gaultier on Murphy into the hairpin. He goes down the inside. The Ferrari, can he make it on the AlphaTauri? Murphy goes deep. So does Gaultier. He goes just as deep. AFL and Murphy's round. I've actually, did he half spin? Did he go full around? I'm not too sure.
He did just full spin. He went a little bit wide, went onto the sort of the exit apron there, and just, of course, there's going to be no grip out there, especially in these conditions. Lit up the tyres, and the back end just went round.
Amazing spin!
5 second.
Gaultier spin as well!
Oh, the penalties are flying in. Murphy has spin as well. There's Thomas Tip Top as well.
Thomas Tip Top! Oh my god, what's happening here at the moment? Pandemonium. Ben with the penalty.
3 second penalties. Get the abacus out, because we've lost count of all these penalties here. They're really flying in. The top 5 then still on the dries. Topher Tip Top, you could see, is the only one without a penalty in the top 5 on the dries. He's got X Maze behind him, and this might be a really good indication of the pace difference. I think it's intermediate time now, Lee. I think this is the lap. If you haven't went already, you need to go now.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Wilson 22nd gap. MKP's are in the 5th. That's another. That's 6. Is it 16 Fs? No, 15 Fs. No, 16 Fs. First time I saw it, yeah.
16 F, 14 still remaining, yep.
Mace hasn't gained too much. He's not flying past Topher. He's not all medium. He should be flying past him. He's not flying past him. Mark Wilson's pit. He started, you know what, there's time. I think Mark Wilson's just doing the right thing here. Has that lead, might as well, but yeah. I think Mark Wilson made the right call. This lap and next lap will be the time. Oh, here we go. Mighty Yam Mountain Hards. Topher. Oh my god. Yeah, watch this battle. This is going to get very interesting between these guys.
DRS is still enabled, by the way.
Oh my god, it is. Yeah, you're right. Here
Some
comes
intermediate
Topher.
runners on the DRS. This could get really, really tasty. Gotti for long going for a move on Funny Oz.
He's spun. Oh, that was a weird one there. Here comes Ben. AFL and Nacho will be towards the back. Yeah, it's starting right now. They haven't used time. Topher on the inside of Maze. Oh, Topher's been hit. He spun round. I think that was just wet, dry tires on the wet track for him. That's made him spin round. But yeah, this call, Maze doing what Mark wasn't.
Oh, and Topher just sorry to be cutting across onto Murphy, trying to avoid the McLaren coming out of the pits. There's 5 seconds for AFL for a corner cut. Right, let's get the abacus out, boys. Let's do the penalties. So there you go. I'm not even going to bother talking you through them.
Yeah, let's just have a
3 seconds, 5 seconds, 8 seconds, and 11s. Plenty of penalties.
Wow.
Funny O's Chimp, Serial
DRS still
Pancake,
enabled.
Topher,
Oh my god.
and Simple DRS enabled. What is going on?
I don't know, Scott. I really don't. But what a race! All this chaos and Matt Gulliston is just chilling out front. He has no care in the world. It's wet now. Surely the DRS gets to say with this lap. After see, oh, it goes deep into the hairpin. He almost goes into the wall. Nacho past Murphy into the hairpin. Murphy goes very deep. They both go deep. What's it? But Murphy's lost a bit of his wing down towards the end off the pit. But it's all I want to watch. Scott. I don't know. The DRS has been disabled now, I think.
No, it's still enabled. I'm watching Nacho right now with his rear wing open. He's
Chip
still
has it as well. You're right. Oh my, what is FIA? You're more blind than me, for God's sake. Like, come on, have a look at the track. Marco's is 17 seconds clear. Oh my word, what's happening? Topher stays out.
I might have pit and put on fresh mediums.
I am baffled, Scott. I really am. But anyway, 8 laps to go. There's still lots of jam in hand. But Ed nearly cutting the corner. Into Chimp's on for a really good result. He's on for a net P3, I think, at the moment. And now, I'm going to be able to see if he does get on a podium, just watch out for a few weird words. Scott will know better than I do, but let's just say, whenever a few of the lads in different tiers get a podium, oh, Top does crash as well. That's always in the middle of the track, and Top is round as well.
Car.
It's not going to be a safety car, Scott. I don't know how it's not a safety car, but it isn't. That must have been contacting 2 drivers, I think. There, but yeah, make that 17. That's Chimp into the back of Ben. In fairness, he did rear end him, but he kind of saved him spinning, so kind of repaid the favour there a little bit. I don't think he got damaged, but yeah, Chimp, here he comes on the back of that.
How is DRS still enabled? I do not know, Chimp. Like you see, on for a good result because Ben's got 3 seconds, Gotti Fallon's got 8 seconds, and X Maze has got 5, so he could still be within a shout here. I think Ben is maybe holding him up ever so slightly. You know, natural pace here is favouring Chimp.
The two slick
the 2 dry runners, the 2 mediums, 17 laps and 1 lap. What a difference that is, and.
That is crazy, oh my god. My god, I don't know, Scott, yeah, well, about Chimp, and you know, if you notice a few weird words in the interview, if he does get here, just note that some of the lads, Scott, you're included in this, are, whenever they get a podium, are challenged to give some, because interesting words in their podium, so if you're any weird ones, if you get to podium, that's why. Hopefully I haven't jinxed it, I probably have, Tom Day's curse is a lovely thing, isn't it? It's a yellow flag. Oh my big, no, AFL's round, sorry.
Shout out to KXI, I was going to say Operation Lasagna. DRS finally disabled from this race.
Yeah, I know what you mean. No way for AFL.
Nacho is catching up with Funny O's Chip. I wonder if he got ever so slightly little bit of damage there. We've never seen anything come off, but sometimes you can get a little touch of damage and it doesn't actually come up. Nacho very nearly makes contact with the rear of the Alpine, and Chimp now, he was getting close to overtaking Ben, but that was with the DRS. His time might be a little bit harder now, of course, though. ERS is going to be more available. You know, your top speed's a lot higher, you're braking a lot heavier, so there's going to be more ERS. It looks to be, I think it is AFL, having a little spin. Yes, on the exit of turn 9, he gets overtaken by Murphy as Nacho and Chimp go side by side. Chimp turning in ever so slightly early there makes... sorry. Yeah, was it? I don't. Yeah, it was Chimp, sorry. Yeah, do you know that way I was watching?
Mark
but I couldn't quite...
another penalty, but it doesn't matter.
It's fine, he's only got a 21.2 second gap at the front. I'm sure he can afford the 6 seconds.
Yeah, only, I agree. I mean, this reminds me of, like, real life. A chaotic race like Zandvoort, for example, yesterday. Actually happened for 20 seconds, all the chaos happened behind him. This is very, very reminiscent. As Nacho gets a bad exit, Chim's trying to go for here again. He's using the ERS. Is he close enough? I don't think he's close enough to go for a move. Let's see. No, he isn't close enough. As Ben goes a little bit deep, here comes Nacho. What an exit! Oh my word, what an exit from Nacho on pressure tires. So, you know, he'll have that traction, he gets them, they move, but for now, Ben, braking late. Oh, Nacho, can you hold around the outside? And then they make contact. It's very clean and hard, but fair racing, and Nacho gets past. Nacho is currently on 3 seconds. And Nacho could still sneak a P3 here, considering. Scott, I don't know. This race is baffling me. I'm honestly lost. Nacho with a penalty, never mind. Oh, it's back.
I don't think we worry about who's going to finish where until we just wait until we see the final results screen, Lee, because
yeah, I agree.
There's going to be some amount of counting to do. Just to clear up in the comments what Operation Lasagna is, it's a little inside joke me and some of the Tier 3 drivers have, when one of us is in need of a safety car, we say the joke phrase Operation Lasagna, which is a hint that if somebody's having if somebody's having a bad race, make sure you cause a safety car before you die, sort of thing. It's a joke term, and then KXI managed to get that into the post-race interviews for Tier 3, where he said, and I won't say the first word he said because it was a little bit explicit, but he said something along the lines of, that was a lasagna of a race. That's a goated comment, to be fair.
Yeah.
And Chimp is likely to commit a similar operation if he does get on the podium. He had it fueled up in Japan until he made a horrendous howler of a mistake and broke his headset in rage, as AFL will be sitting a little bit raging in that cockpit, picks up another 3-second time penalty. Only 4 drivers without a pen here. The Chimp, Pancake, Will and Topher. A late safety car could bring in things for them.
Flag.
Sector 1 yellow flag.
It's one towards the back. But then 13, yeah, well, I can't go to him. He went over the curve of the chicane there, went very deep, so. Yeah, 4 laps to go, must have been. Mark Wilson's all pissed off the head, honestly. Just, Mark Wilson, have a tea. You know, I go talk to Danielle, your missus, you know. Have a break. And you still be about 15 seconds clear anyway. I mean, I don't know if you're watching high, I hope you're enjoying this race. Mark Wilson goes deep in the hairpin. What's it with drivers in the hairpin and not being able to take the corner? It's happened about 20 times this race.
I suppose, just getting caught out in these slightly wetter conditions, it must be said. Daniel is here, ever present in the comments, and I'm sure there'll be some, a little bit of hype talk going on in the Wilson household tonight. 25.4 seconds is the gap here. With a result like this, you know.
I heard something else, but anyway.
You heard what you want to hear, young man. You're just a foul-minded little man.
Yeah, I get it from you. I've checked the comments already, and Robert said Operation Lee-Sange. For God's sake, man.
Operation Lee-Sanya. that's
Lee-Sanya. I'm blind. Oh, no! It's going to do with the Discord as well now, right? For feck's sake. Mighty Atom spawn as well. Mighty Baguette. I'm lost. I'm lost here. Mighty Baguette with on wing. Murphy up in the 8th.
Chimp looking to have a go at Ben down up into P5. There's a yellow flag. That is Mighty Atom having a spin. Might even get into the pits. We're 32 out of 35 here, Lee. I think with the virtual safety cars, we're out of the safety car sort of. We've run out of them, and we're getting very close to the stage where there can't be any more, even if there was one available. I think Mighty Atom there was just pulling to the side and letting everybody by.
Mighty Baguette into the pits.
He's going to try and come home. Of course, 13 runners in this race. Lee, 12 of them still able to score points. Points down all the way to 12. Fastest lap for the fastest lap if you finish in the top 10, of course, because then that way you can't finish 20th and just bang on a set of softs right at the end and steal a cheeky little point. That would be an interesting race, though. I actually quite would like to see that, where everybody from like P15 down just bangs on softs at the end and really just goes for it. But sadly, it's not going to happen tonight. And no, it does. Chimp connects with the wall of champion. He rubs against it like a baby cub looking for milk off its mama. I don't know what that one was, but I don't know. I was just thinking of Canadian wildlife, and I was thinking of like bears. You know, they're quite cuddly.
Oh, so you said a cob, not a cub. You spill.
Yeah, a cub, like a baby bear.
Yeah, no, but you said cob.
No,
You
cub.
dumb.
It's called an accent,
No.
Lee.
An accent, yes, I know, Scott, I know. Actually, Ryan gets made fun of every day, but you. Anyhow, back on the bottom.
Back to the race. We're on lap 33.
Yeah. Shut up. Anyway, Nacho on the back of Gautier. This will be interesting because if these two battle, then because Chim's right on the limit here of losing out on a podium. And Maze is here as well, so these top three could scrap and it could be interesting. Nacho on the back of Gautier, Chimp on the back of Ben as well. Interesting about the Washington final laps. Nacho has a lot of VRS compared to the two guys ahead of him, so we'll see what happens. He's used a lot. He's gaining a lot on the Ferrari. He's going a lot for moving the turn one. We'll sit in the day the 400 canter. See if he goes in the turn one. Gets a better exit. Does he? No, he doesn't get a better exit than the Ferrari. Chimp. Oh, it's gonna be very tight towards the end here with Chimp. Honestly, we'll have to just wait and see when he crosses along with the gap. It's right on. It's teetering on the edge. I might want a penalty. Oh, not just the back of Gautier. Almost spun it there. But manages to stave it from hitting the wall.
Let's
just enjoy these last 2 laps.
It could be a key thing though, because this battle really is with Chimp here. 6 seconds of penalties for Nacho, and the gap is just about 5.5 seconds roughly. Chimp is going to obviously jump Ben as things stand. He might just jump Nacho, and he will just about jump Gautier Fallon, so he could be on for the podium. Maze is in for a shout for a top 2 as well, and the man out front, he's nearly half a lap ahead as Mark Wilson at this stage.
He's 30 seconds clear.
He's 30 seconds and 300.
And he's on the final lap as well. Shut up. Just shut up. I mean, he's nearly half track clear, as you said. That's crazy. I mean, this season we've been close to seeing, course race, but he's dominated. And at the moment, he's going to take his second race of the season, which will be actually our first repeat winner of the season, Scott. There's a little thing for you. Further back, though, Nacho right now, he's on a great exit. DRS is enabled again on the final lap. It's going to be causing even more drama. Nacho Canino then inside, he thinks about it, half goes by half doesn't. Chimp's made a mistake, he's also lost the time here, that will be crucial. Nacho around the outside, can he make a stick on the Ferrari he has? And yeah, I don't know what's happened to Chimp, but I think he's lost chance at podium here. He's lost massive amounts of time, and he could fall down here. Sure, he hasn't bottled on the final lap again. No, not Chimp. No,
he is within the 8 seconds to go to Fallon. He is just outside the 6 seconds to Nacho. However, it's going to be nip and tuck, and the only benefit he has, of course, well, he's not actually, because he has dropped it. Nacho is going to have DRS on Maze as well. And if Nacho can somehow get a second on Maze, he could maybe pinch this P2. We'll wait and see. Mark Wilson, I'm watching them coming here. Mark Wilson does win.
What a try from him. It's been a crazy good one, but we'll see what happens here. This got tasty as we go into the final chicane. Mace has a bunch of ERS. Nacho has the DRS and the slipstream. He's going to get feisty into the final corner. Nacho is going to go for it. He's going to hold back. No, he's not. He's going to go for it. No, he's going to hold back. Never mind. Thinking of it in a strategic way. Well, hold on. Maze will come around the final corner. Get P2. Nacho will hold on just about for P3, I believe.
I think he will just ever so slightly. As Maze gets a 5-second unset. Oh, that was already there. Gautier Fallon getting the same. So Ben jumps up to P4 and gets pipped by Chimp.
The final lap. Oh,
1.7 seconds off a podium.
That's not a headset that showed. Anyhow, yeah, Pancake 7th, Murphy 8th. Will and now they're actually getting lapped.
I think Will actually Will does jump 8 up to 8 with Murphy. Murphy having the 3-second penalty, but that was certainly an interesting race, Lee. Driver of the day is Murphy, up from P20 to P9.
Mark Wilson gets mine personally.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think I could award it to anybody else apart from Mark. Absolute dominant display, not just in quality but in the race. Everything that was thrown at him, he handled like a champion. And to get a 30-second gap, it was quite the sight to see. There you go, Mark taking P1 to P1 in the race, making a 2-stop work. And probably just, running a really good race in the dry, must be said, Lee, getting that grid, that gap built on the grid to be able to then switch to the inters when he so chose to. Mays coming from P10, despite having that incident in qualifying, ended up in the wall on the exit of the Wall of Champions. Comes home in P2 ahead of Nacho, a bit of recovery drive. Remember, he had a drive-through penalty. It could have been a race of what could have been.
Oh yeah.
Where the gap was 32.5 in the end. He probably did lose maybe about 20 odd seconds with that drive-through. So I don't think he would have been quite in contention with Mark Wilson, but nonetheless, P3 for him. He'll be decently happy. Chimp comes home in P4 ahead of BX37 Pro. Chimp as well could potentially be our championship leader. Let's not forget that after this
I don't
round.
know, Scott. I'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see. He could potentially be there. Got it for on in P6. Pancake and Will Simple 7-8. Murphy and Tover P9 and 10 ahead of Mighty Baguette, and AFL rounds off the point scorers. Big shout out to Mighty Atom. He didn't score a point, but he was the last of our finishers and did better than the 7 that did not. Tom with Tip Top, MKP, Riordan, Curly, Victor Mean Hedgehog, and Ghost Danger 1 all DNFing from this race. But Lee, I think it's everybody's favourite time of the night. Shall we get our top 3 in for a little chat? If you can add them. Oh, Hugh.
I've already added them, Scott.
You are on the ball, my friend.
No, I'm getting quicker. I know it takes a while, and I'm slow, but getting there. They haven't invited. This should be quite an interesting podium. I mean, 2 drivers who got the first, and Mark Wilson just pissed out in front. Excuse my language, by the way. I don't think that's that bad to say, to be fair. But anyway,
it's we've had worse things, and
we've said worse. Dan.
Yeah, exactly. But let's not beat about the bush. Our winner tonight, our pole sitter, our I think that was such a dominant display and such a showing from Mark. We might need to rate this as like PG-15 because he absolutely put everybody else to the slaughter. Mark, I hope you can hear us. What a performance that was tonight, mate.
I had wings, didn't I?
you had wings and you took off.
Canadian bear in the wild.
Oh my God.
There we go. I'm on it, Scott.
You are.
I mean, let's start from the start. That qualifying lap, a 10.77. Now, I can give you a little comparison. I've done my first couple of qualifying laps of the week, and my banker laps was a 10.5, and that's I'm not gonna boast the boast, but I'd like to think myself a podium contender in tier 3, and you're only a couple of tenths off that time. That was what are you laughing at? Hold on, we'll get back to that. But what a lap that was in quali.
And I thought it was a poor lap as well.
So you telling me there was time in that lap?
I reckon I could have gone about 2 tenths quickly, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Get into tier 4.
Get into tier 3, mate. Come racing first tonight with me.
Honestly, the setup felt great. I mean, I can't fault the setup that I've done. It just felt so good. I felt so comfortable, and I think Canada's one of them tracks that I think it suits someone on a wheel, and I sort of didn't get it before where people said, this is a wheel track and this is a pad track, but I think I understand now. Because Canada, I mean, especially the last 2 corners, the chicane, like the Wall of Champions, on a pad is so difficult, but I mean on a steering wheel it's easy. Like it felt easy in a sense.
Yeah, you can just make the movements are so much smoother, and you're not having to worry about flick it left, flick it right, flick it left, and then try and catch it. If you do oversteer a little bit or maybe light up the rears a little bit, you can catch it so much easier. And I must be said, your performance on the wheel, your improvement on the wheel has been tremendous this season, mate, especially with turn off the assist as well. I'm not too sure off the top of my head where that'll put you in the sort of title charge. Of course, you're 32 points going into this race. You will, of course, as things stand, being 62. It'll put you sort of up in the mix. But given we're at the halfway mark, could you be, and forgive me if I'm wrong, it might have been, I think there maybe was one in tier 1, but Cohen's second back-to-back champion. Is that something you think you could maybe have a rerun at?
There's a lot of quick drivers. There's a lot of quick drivers in this tier. So some of the tracks I could possibly say, yeah, I'll be up there, but other tracks, I mean, whoever chose China last week needs to get in the bin.
Neem Cross.
Yeah, get in
Cross
the bin,
sorry.
mate.
That's what we like about fighting this. It's always great to see
Yeah,
here.
because that was terrible. But yeah, I mean, let's just hope that the second half of the season, a bit like last season. Last season I was there and thereabouts, but then the second half of the season I sort of came into my own. So I'm just hoping for more of the same, really.
Oh, we can really hope for solid performance. I think as well, off the top of my head, I know you're saying about the wheel, but I distinctly remember you having a very good performance a couple of seasons ago. I think it was season 6 in Canada. Was that not the glitch race? Remember?
I mean, yeah, it was glitched. It was a glitch race. The safety car decided to absolutely screw everyone over, apart from me. Yeah, so I ended up winning that race by like 40 seconds, I think, as well. So
you've got a good track record in Canada. And I suppose my last thing is Barcelona next week. How are you feeling for that? Española.
Once again, it's who the hell chose Spain. I guess it'll be a bit better because of the last corner. It's not that stupid chicane anymore.
That's very true.
It's a fast double right now, so it should be good. It should be good racing. Hopefully, a few overtakes as well on that track. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Oh, congratulations once again tonight, mate. Pass on.
Can I just say one thing as well?
Please? Yeah. Before you get shocked, yep. Go ahead.
I have to shout out this week because she's not been well. Especially the last couple of nights. So shout out to Danielle, who's always got my back.
Well, hey.
Absolutely. Pass on our love to her. She's always ever present in the comments and always a nice positive attitude, giving a lot of love, especially to me. Somebody's got the back Lee's corner.
I'm just amazed.
It definitely isn't me.
Whoa! Excuse me. Excuse me. That's outrageous. Also, Scott, I'm going to ask for permission to interview Nacho.
Leroy, if I'm honest with you, she doesn't understand a word you're saying, so that's probably why she's more like a
Touche. I don't understand me half the time, to be fair to her, so it's alright, mate. It's alright.
Right, Lee, I'll let you conduct the rest. I'm going to unmute myself and go laugh for 5 minutes.
That's fine. Now, I will interview my favourite man ever, Sarah Nacho. Nacho, what?
Hello.
That a crazy race, man. Just take us through it from your POV, because that was crazy.
Well, absolutely shit quali, actually. I ended up setting my best time with a broken front wing.
Oh.
Which I broke at the start of the lap, at the Wolf Champions. And the race just a bit, I don't know, couldn't get a rhythm. Probably because of all the VSCs. Couldn't get a rhythm, and then also got a drive-through, which was bad. And then I think I got saved by the rain, because then I suddenly had the pace and could overtake people, so that was a bit lucky on my end.
Yeah, I do definitely agree with you on that one, but what's going through your head now is it that? Because conditions changing all the time. Just what do you think during that?
Well, during the VSC?
No, during the changing conditions.
I don't know. I was just thinking like, it's not wet enough now. Do another lap. It's not wet enough again. Do another lap. It's just waiting for the perfect moment to hit in, and then I thought, now it's wet. So that's really my only thought.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that is your 100% streak of podiums this season kept up. You now finished first, second, and third.
Yeah, so that's quite beautiful. I hope I can. I hope it won't be fourth next week.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it's
hoping
first.
For, first again would be good.
Yeah, that watch me. And next week is Spain. How do you feel about that track?
Well, I have to agree with Mark. Without the last chicane, it's actually a pretty good track. So we'll see. I have to practice because I've done about 5 laps probably. But, yeah, should be good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, that is all from you, Scott. Do you have any questions?
I suppose my only thing
He's
is,
still
of
laughing.
course, well, I finished just about 40 seconds ago. I love as well in the comments Danielle saying, "I can't believe you said that." This is why tier 3 is the banter tier, but I would say tier 5 is a very close second. No, all that's from me. It's just to keep fighting the good fight, mate. You're doing God's work for the McLaren boys. I'm gonna try and continue on Thursday. Let's go get that dub.
I'll be watching.
Disgusting.
Love that.
Bias.
Love that. No bias
Get
at all,
out of my
just
commentary
a
booth.
little bit. Nacho, bugger off. I'm gonna have words with this little Irishman. But no, mate.
Excuse me, I take offense to that.
Congratulations tonight. I think the drive through,
Yeah,
unfortunate,
cheers.
but a great recovery drive. Great points altogether for you. You're right up in the mix with that championship battle, and it looks to be a bit of a championship battle as well, with probably about 7 or 8 drivers in the mix. So we'll definitely be keeping away a little eye on you next week in Spain. But yeah, that's all from me, mate.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh well.
Yeah, that's it from us, Scott, I think. But I do want to say one thing. I've seen Indigo, Mr. J. Morris, our tier 4 and Wolfie tier 1 commentator, say that we don't read comments, even though we read them for half the race, Jamie. And then Rotation said that this is why Liam and him are better than us, and me and Scott. I mean, you just had to write an apology the last time you commentated, so I'd advise, we don't go down that road.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyhow.
How can we cover all the great action that happens in tier 5 and read the comments every single time as they
Exactly.
come in?
Sure.
We have a job
Know
to
your
do,
place.
and we do it very exactly. Exactly. And if you have any disagreements with that, Rotation and Liam, we'll meet you down the park at 6 PM tomorrow for a square go.
I mean, are you sure
That's
about me, Scott? In fairness, I am taller than you, so...
Yeah, but you're also a little bit more... I won't say the rest of that sentence. I'm just out of pure respect for you, mate.
Boy.
But yeah, thank you for joining me once again tonight, mate, and thank you as well as Antonio for covering it last week. Couldn't have
It was
done
awful, it was
without
torture.
No,
I'll be
you
able
did
to tell
did a very, very, very good job, and it's good to be back once again this week. Next week, like we said, we're in Spain, same time, same place, 8:15 PM BST here on the Cone Racing League channel, of course. Jamie Indigo and I believe KXI should be back next week for the Tier 4 race at 7:30. Then on Thursday night, remember, of course, we have Tier 3s, 2 and 1 race all going on. Lee will be live in Tier 1 at the new time of 8 PM alongside Tier 2 also kicks off at that time. And if you want to watch me bin it into some walls, you can see me at 7:30 in the Tier 3 race, commentated by our very own Spider. Jonathan, of course, commentating Tier 2. And, of course, Indigo, your Tier 4 commentator, taking over from Tier 1 once again. But congratulations to Maze, Nacho and Mark Wilson, our 3 podium setters. Thank you for joining me once again, Lee, and thank you all for joining us and leaving those comments that we don't apparently read.
Yep. Lying little so-and-sos.
Exactly. Just fake news, spreading their agenda. Thank you for joining us once again. That was a hectic race to commentate. Go and have a little sit down, a little relax, and we'll see you all.
Well.
Have a little Pinot Grigio or something like that. Shout out Macone. We'll see you all next Monday then for the Spanish Grand Prix, where we'll see how good mine and Lee's Spanish. We'll have a little Spanish. We'll do some lessons in Spanish, I think.
Oh, shut up, man. Just go away.
But yeah, that's all from us tonight, folks. Have a very good rest of your evening and a wonderful rest of your week.